Manchester, UK, January 1st, 2025.
So this is my apartment block. I'm on the 4th floor, so it's obviously not going to reach us. Fucking hell!
After Greater Manchester was battered by severe rain overnight, many areas of the region have been left underwater with 70 flood warnings and alerts being issued. Several videos shows the area of Bramhall Park Road roundabout in Stockport completely submerged under flood water. Water is up near to ground floor window levels, leaving cars marooned and crossings submerged and impassable. There are several flood warnings and alerts in place, with an amber flood warning in place for the Middle River Mersey catchment, including areas near Bramhall, Stockport, Sale, Altrincham and Urmston.
The flooding is causing chaos.
You're getting embarrassed there, Colin.
Hey! Why have you told her, Jack, you're going on a boat trip? Me too.
That's all. I've been trying to come.
It has seen stretches of rivers rise to record levels and burst their banks. Roads have been submerged and homes in some areas have been left in 2 feet of water. A major incident has been declared as emergency services continue to be bombarded with calls about threats to life, stranded vehicles and damaged properties. Greater Manchester Police GMP, who are coordinating the response with the fire service, said that Bolton, Didsbury, Harperhay, Staleybridge, Stockport and Wigan were the areas which had seen the greatest impact. Major incident declared by emergency services as they tackle severe flooding. Many residents have said they have been forced to flee their homes due to fears over their safety. At Meadow Mill in Stockport, the ground floor of the apartment block, which contains commercial premises, has also been flooded, leaving people in the 213 apartments above stranded. A fire service water rescue unit is at the scene. A number of major roads have been rendered impassable. They include the A555 Airport Relief Road in Stockport, where pictures showed the occupants of several vehicles having to be rescued after their vehicles became stuck. Several roads remain closed, with traffic stopped on the M60 anti-clockwise at Portwood, and the M56 westbound closed between junctions 6 and 7. People are being warned, do not travel on New Year's Day, after a deluge of rain caused major flooding. TransPennine Express says the worst affected areas are Greater Manchester and Cheshire. And as rain is set to continue for several hours, further flooding is likely. People have been forced to flee their homes, and others rescued, with torrential downpours causing severe and significant flooding across Greater Manchester. Parts of the region have seen more than 80 millimeters, 3 inches, of rainfall in the last 24 hours. Rivers including the River Tame and Tameside, and the Mersey in Stockport, have risen to record highs in places. City centre canals have overflowed, whilst there have been issues around the River Medlock in the city centre and East Manchester.
It's definitely written off. They're handing water up to the first floor.
Transport chiefs urged people not to travel by train this morning, and to only drive if absolutely necessary. The heavy rainfall began causing issues in the early hours. Those living near the Miker Brook, a tributary of the River Mersey, said roads in and around Cheadle were submerged with water, getting into their homes, and their electrics being cut. One family said the water in their home was 2 feet deep. Several said they had been forced to flee to safety. In Broadbottom, Tameside, locals said a wall collapsed onto cars before water came gushing into houses. Greater Manchester Fire and Rescue said they were experiencing a high number of flood-related calls. As daylight broke this morning, the extent of the issues being experienced across the region then began to emerge. At Meadow Mill in Stockport, on the banks of the River Tame, residents said they are trapped and are currently being evacuated by emergency services. Videos showed fire crews and paramedics at the building, where the lower floors and car park have been flooded, leaving it cut off. One said it can now only be reached by boat. A total of 55 flood warnings, which means flooding is expected and nearby residents should act now, are currently in place across the region, along with 15 flood alerts, which mean flooding is possible. In its last update around 3 hours ago, the Environment Agency said, dozens of flood warnings across GTR-MCR as heavy rain continues. Our teams were out working in the early hours to reduce flood risk, including monitoring flood defense assets like Didsbury Basin